Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Tannenberg. The game brings the massive battles of the Eastern Front and the First World War to life, with 64 players fighting for control of key sectors of the battlefield, each one offering a distinct strategic advantage. Here you'll find authentic atmosphere with accuracy in everything, from maps and weaponry to uniforms. The game has great tactical squad-based FPS, play as Romanian, Latvian, Austro-Hungarian, German or Bulgarian. But I have to warn you that if you don't have 64 friends, just forget about those 64 player battles. The last update was a year ago and there's like 30 people online averagely at all time. Still, the price is nice and so is the game. Blacktail. Here the choice is yours. Will you become the guardian of the woods or the terror nightmares are made of? You play as Yaga, a 16-year-old girl accused of witchcraft and expelled from a medieval settlement. Well, I know what I would be doing after that. Definitely not helping poor folk from the aforementioned village to heal their sick cattle. No, I would rather secretly put pineapple in their potato salad. Also would turn all their delicious beer into milk.
Milk of a cat.
Yeah, milk of a cat or of a hamster. Anyway, here you'll decide the fate of the land and its inhabitants, and witness the impact of your decisions on your skills through an implemented morality system. People on Steam are saying that the game feels more mature than the visuals it provides, and the story is really dark and captivating. Red Dead Redemption 2. Here you are, an outlaw on the run, with federal agents and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing on your heels. You and your gang must rob, steal and fight your way across the heartland of America in order to survive. Well, the main story is all about that, but honestly all you will do here is free ride your horse all over the map, do casual quests for the NPCs you encounter, and will be occasionally killed by a bear. There is an urban myth that if you stay completely still in the game, the bear will leave you alone. I never tested that. I usually panic, shoot the bear to the leg or a butt, and, then I die. This game is serious, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's full of really funny unexpected events and situations. On the other hand, the story is decent and some of your actions have serious consequences. Like, shooting a bear to a butt will have consequences of your death. Main story will take about 50 hours from your boring life, and all the online content can take 10 times more. Those are the same creators as of GTA games. They really know how to pin your attention for a long time, so be sure you have it. Warhammer 40k Boltgun. Here, without any hesitation, load up your gun and plunge into battle. You'll experience a perfect blend of Warhammer FPS gameplay and the stylish visuals of your favorite 90s retro shooters. You will play a battle-hardened Space Marine on a perilous mission across the galaxy as you fight against the Chaos Space Marines and demons. This boomer shooter style, well known from the games like Classic Doom, Duke Nukem or Heretic, is a real treat for older dudes like me, and also for a younger generation who wants to experience glory and feel like a true combat god, or goddess, or something in between. Whatever you are, you will rock this. People on Steam are saying that the game doesn't offer a lot of replayability, but the level of entertainment it provides is massive. Although, not as massive as your mama. Verdun. The game takes place on the Western Front in one of the bloodiest conflicts in world history, inspired by the famous Battle of Verdun in 1916. So the game is the first-person shooter multiplayer set in a realistic setting of the First World War. The vicious close-quarters nature of trench warfare means that skill with a bayonet can be as vital as good aim with a rifle, so prepare for some melee action as well. The game offers 4 modes with many historically accurate features, such as realistic First World War weaponry, authentic uniforms, horrendous gore, and maps based on the real battlefields of France and Belgium. People on Steam are saying that the game is criminally underrated, so if you are thirsty not only for beer but for blood as well, this may be your spoon of potato salad.
Wait, what?
I don't know, man, sounded cool in my head. Moonlighter. Here you are, a shopkeeper who wants to keep your customers happy by providing them with various goods. You can put items on sale, set their price carefully, manage gold reserves, recruit assistants and upgrade the shop. But be careful though, some shady individuals may want to steal your precious wares. The trickiest part is getting the goods. You have to swim over River Nemunas to Kaliningrad, get contraband and then swim back to European Union to get rich. No, of course I'm kidding. You have to go to ancient passages to different different realms and dimensions, fight various enemies and collect items from their dead, cold, maimed bodies. So romantic. Anyway, here the part where you hack, slash, and die begins. People on Steam are saying that the game is fun, aesthetically pleasing, and relaxing. Yeah, relaxing. So forget about big challenges, it's an easier game in general. But hey, it's nice to have something not Souls-like hardcore from time to time after all. Slime Rancher 2. It seems that the second part of Slime Rancher is just as a hit as the first one, and more than 90% of positive reviews won't let me lie. Here you'll continue the adventures as you journey to Rainbow Island, a mysterious land brimming with ancient technology, unknown natural resources, and an avalanche of wiggling, jiggling new slimes to discover. As you attempt to unravel the island's secrets and uncover its true purpose, you will build, ranch, and farm within a beautiful conservatory whose sparkling glass walls give you a full view of the prismatic paradise you now call home. So collect slimes never seen before on the far range. You know, like the bouncy cotton slime, or the aquatic angler slime, or a potato salad slime. Well, no, that even sounds wrong. No slime on my potato salad, please. SnowRunner. As I've said a few times already, I usually don't play any car games. You could probably tell that by the sheer amount of racing and driving videos and reviews of these games in my channel. There aren't any. But somehow I play this game where you have to drive a heavy load truck, and I liked it. This game is very different from anything that involves cars. This is Dark Souls of driving. SnowRunner is a torture, and by torture I mean that this is some kind of a puzzle game. Yeah, every mission is a puzzle you have to solve. It's really hard. You often fail, your truck is stuck, it happens so often that it even rhymes, and you have to restart the whole mission over and over again. But when you finally solve one puzzle and successfully deliver the goods, you are up for the next challenge, and then the next one. The torture continues. And when you finish this game, keep in mind that there is one more, called the Mud Runner, so plenty of torture for you. Blacktail Requiem. After escaping your devastated homeland, you will travel far south to new regions and various forsaken cities. There you attempt to start a new life and control Hugo's curse. Yeah, the kid is cursed, but you, instead of dropping him into the ocean and forgetting which ocean it was, you travel with him. You know, no Hugo, no problems, but you chose problems. So everything that happens from now on is basically your fault. So when Hugo's powers reawaken, oh surprise, surprise, death and destruction return in a flood of devouring rats you probably all know from the first part of this beautiful game. Forced to flee once more, you place your hopes in a prophesized island that may hold the key to saving Hugo. The game will let you know the price of saving those you love in a desperate struggle for survival, and you ain't gonna like it. You will strike from the shadows or unleash hell, overcoming foes and challenges with a variety of weapons, tools, and unearthly powers. People on Steam are talking that this game will make you cry, mostly because of the story, but a tear or two will also drop when you realize that the game is super slow and your movement speed is even slower. Despite that, Blacktail Requiem has about 90% of positive reviews, and if you like story-rich adventure games, it's a must-play sooner or later. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. This is a stealth-based game, meaning that you can shoot your way through the enemies or sneak up behind them without being traced, hack systems to retrieve information, or use your social skills to extract information from key characters. There are always choices, multiple approaches, multiple paths, and multiple tools at your disposal. People on Steam are talking that Deus Ex is really enjoyable, although very linear. But in this instance, the linear aspect is a good thing, because despite the fact that the game is guiding you in your path, it doesn't hold your hand or penis, and you are free to approach every situation as you please. And as I've mentioned before, the ways of playing are really numerous, and the only limit is your imagination. That also means that everyone without imagination has no limits at all. Let it sink. Yeah, also I can promise that in Deus Ex you will find many amazing music scores. The game has a really exceptional soundtrack which is creating an amazing atmosphere. My Time at Portia. This is a fun and relaxing RPG, a great open world game with an incredible amount of stuff to do. It is similar to Stardew Valley, but has more depth in it, literally because it is in 3D and figuratively because it is bigger in general. And this is the best game if you just want to relax. Here you arrive in a weird post-apocalyptic new town named Portia to inherit your father's old building workshop and spend your time restoring it to its former glory. It's definitely not a game for a serious RPG lover, but sometimes it's just good to relax, catch some alpacas, build some experimental devices, and even go to a dungeon to fight giant rats. Definitely a game for the whole family. The Surge 2. On the way to Jericho City, your plane is shut down by a mysterious storm and crash lands in the outskirts. You wake up weeks later in a derelict detention facility inside the city. Armor-clad soldiers enforce martial law. Robots are on a rampage and a dark expanding nanostorm looms over the cityscape. So long story short, everything here wants you dead. But you are not some lame puny peasant, you have your mechanical sword and can beat enemies with it and take their parts and make yourself better in the process. Imagine if you hand wrestle with a coworker you hate, then you win and take his eyes as a prize. Well, that took a dark turn rather quickly, right? Dying Light 2: Stay Human. Playing this game while being sober was an act of heroism on my side. You know why? Because this game is scary and it amplified my anxiety levels. They went up through the roof while I was playing it. Speaking about roofs, most of the time you will parkour and climb on them. I played the game for more than 10 hours, and in those hours I spent about 5 minutes on the ground. I don't even know if the city itself is beautifully done. There's no need to go down, it's too dangerous.
That's what she said.
And you often bump into a dead end with too high unjumpable walls, and that is a bit inconvenient when you are running from a herd of brain-thirsty zombies and the level of your anxiety is melting your brain down. It's a fun game to try, but do not expect miracles. For me, the deciding factor to leave it and never go back was degrading weapons. You can kill like 10 zombies with one weapon and then it breaks, so you can't have a favorite weapon here. That is really terrible. I made a review video back then and gave it 6 cold beers out of 10. Now I'm thinking, because it's on sale, for this price maybe 7 is a more accurate score. Anyway, the price is still kinda high. Be cautious, read the comments. Call of Cthulhu. The year is 1924, and here you will take on the role of a private detective. But instead of catching cheating husbands and wives, you must do a bit more serious job, so you are sent to investigate the death of a well-known family on a remote island. What could go wrong? Yeah, you will probably meet some strange creatures, experience weird science, and even come face to face with a creepy cult. I mean, what else is there to do when you spend your time on an isolated island? Knit socks? Repaint the fences? Make potato salad? Although I doubt that you could find the best quality doctor's sausage here.
I am so bored. Yeah, me too. Let's join a cult.
But if you think about it, honestly, if the people of the island would do some sock knitting and repainting the fences for fun, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't need to join a sinister cult for fun. Some food for thought. Anyways, people are saying that the story of the game is very interesting, engaging, and spooky. But Call of Cthulhu doesn't let you explore much. It is more focused on nice cutscenes, and it does feel more like an adventure game. Dead Island Definitive Edition. The same developers who made Dying Light created this zombie-infested game as well, and this zombie apocalypse is more beautiful than ever. You will be running from and killing undead in the beautiful tropical island, a wonderful paradise on Earth, and this contrast is really great. Exploring this island is really fun, from the zombie-infested deserted city to secluded beaches and vast highlands. Roam around in order to discover the story behind the zombie outbreak. You can also play in a story-based 4-player co-op mode. Also, have you noticed that this game actually calls zombies zombies? Not walkers, roamers, crazed ones, biters, freakers, and so on, but actual zombies, and they have my respect for not trying to invent the bicycle again. Zombies are zombies.
But what if they are fast and smart?
Then they are fast, smart zombies, period. Anyway, in Dead Island Definitive Edition you will get the main game and all the DLCs as well. Also, graphics are in HD and so on, and the price is more than great. Totally accurate battle simulator. If you are just bored and want to kill some time in single player without thinking too much, I doubt there is a better game for that than Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. At first, it's really funny. Second, it challenges your IQ and actual tactical skills. All you need to do is to choose your units, place them strategically, and press the fight button. They will do all the battling part by themselves, and you will observe it like some overarching god who has no power to influence anything anymore. So when your army is ripped apart and its scattered remains lie on the ground, then you may think of another strategy and try again, and then again. Some of the battles in the campaign are crazy hard and will squeeze your IQ through your nostrils. Also, if you have some doubts, the game has about 100,000 reviews left on Steam and the score is really close to 100%. I'm not kidding, it's probably one of the best rated games on the whole Steam. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures, and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the Spire is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. Sable. Here you'll embark on a unique and unforgettable journey and guide Sable through her gliding, which is a rite of passage that will take you across vast deserts and mesmerizing landscapes capped with the remains of spaceships and ancient wonders. You'll explore the dunes on your hoverbike, scale monumental ruins and encounter other nomads as you unearth mysteries long forgotten and discover what you're hiding behind your mask. The game is single player only, and you can already see that it is a work of art. There is a lot in this world just waiting to be discovered and explored. People on Steam are talking that the game is a little bit similar to the Breath of the Wild. The world is open and the amount of quests here won't let you get bored. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. The year is 2029. Mechanically augmented humans have now been deemed outcasts, living a life of complete and total segregation from the rest of society. So you, being one of those banished humans, you are forced to operate in a world that has grown to despise your kind. Armed with a new arsenal of state-of-the-art weapons and augmentations, you must choose the right approach, along with who to trust in order to unravel the vast worldwide conspiracy. And you know what this conspiracy is? Someone decided not only to put pineapple in the potato salad, but to replace potatoes themselves with it.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
Yeah, of course I'm kidding. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is not a horror game. You will not experience such horrendous actions here. People on Steam are saying that this is a nice game with a nice story and extremely satisfying combat, but won't work if your internet is down. Yeah, it's one of those single-player games that need the internet to work. Not cool. The Beast Inside. Here you'll play as a CIA employee, Adam, who leaves a huge city and moves to the countryside with his wife. All you need is to work in peace and silence on some secret military code that could change the outcome of the Cold War, so the countryside looks like a perfect choice. And as it turns out, absolutely unexpectedly, this area is quite opposite of a peaceful place. The game is basically a walking simulator, but in most dangerous situations you will be able to use your gun and shoot your way out. That is the worst part psychologically. You know, when you are in an ominous environment and suddenly the game gives you a gun, you don't feel safer somehow, quite the opposite. The price is great, so if you like spooky walking sims, it's a must-get, I think. Subnautica. When I first tried to play Subnautica, I had some mixed feelings. I don't really like to craft things in games. Well, I do, but only when it's not the main way to obtain things in general. And all that coral and fish gathering was really boring for me. I wanted to explore, and the game prevented me from doing that because I had no means of diving into the depths, and if I tried, I always died. So for me it took about 2 actual years to get all the equipment I needed for exploring. I can only imagine that some kid can do that in a day or so, but that's not the way for me. I got bored really quickly every time I turned the game on. But that boredom was eradicated one day when I found some really interesting things deep below that, you know, I couldn't reach. So I finally understood why this game was so hard to play for me. It gave me no motivation to proceed. And then when I finally found one, Subnautica transformed into a beautiful world. So addicting that in a week I spent more time here than in the past 2 years. And I continue to do that for weeks to come. So for all the new players, just carry on with that boring part and you will be rewarded. I can without a doubt say that this game is 10 coldest beers out of 10. You have all my recommendations. Although keep in mind that even if it looks so colorful and pretty, it has a lot of horror elements and is not meant for kids.
A Little Nightmares.
This is one of the best side-scrolling games I have ever played. Its dark and vicious atmosphere, strange creatures and grotesque world kept my attention for many hours. You'll help the protagonist to escape the Maw, a vast, mysterious vessel inhabited by scary corrupted souls looking for their next meal. Not as scary as pineapple in the potato salad, but still, kinda terrifying. As you progress on your journey, you explore the most disturbing dollhouse playground full of secrets to discover. You'll reconnect with your inner child to unleash your imagination and find the way out. Creepy vibes guaranteed. Lilith Odyssey. This is a small but really ambitious indie project you probably never heard about. So here, after the great natural wars have ended, a corrupt galactic government saps life and resources from the many war-weary planets it controls. Your alien family risks everything across an open-world galactic odyssey to find a mysterious land of new beginnings. And they are all aware of their simulated nature. Well, that's a twist. I always say that our world is a simulation, because there is only a slight, tiny chance that our universe is the original one and not being simulated in a computer of some other civilization in another universe, which is itself simulated in some other computer by some even more advanced civilization in another universe, and the cycle may continue endlessly. So really, what are the chances that we live in the first one, the original universe? A rhetorical question, but makes you think, right? Anyway, you will embark on a galactic journey to Lilith, a faraway planet of New Hope. You will discover the history of the Mulago galaxy, relax to in-game radio, grow your fishing, farming and space-faring skills, and enjoy casual adventure. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow stronger and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game, where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say. It's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad. Ghostrunner. This is a hardcore slasher packed with lightning-fast action set in a grim cyberpunk megastructure. You will climb Dharma Tower, humanity's last shelter after a world-ending cataclysm. You will have to make your way up from the very bottom to the very top to confront the tyrannical Keymaster. The streets of this tower city is full of violence. Evil Keymaster rules with an iron fist and little regard for human life. If you like Shadow Warrior and especially Doom Eternal, there is a juicy chance that you will enjoy Ghostrunner as well. Rum Gun. If you are searching for something less popular but still good enough to lose your time in, Rum Gun fulfills these criteria and offers even more. This is a game made by one man, but by playing it you probably couldn't tell that. Also, it's super cheap and it has very positive reviews on Steam. I follow the guy on Facebook and I can see that Rum Gun is a passion project. The updates are quite constant and they not only fix bugs but include additional content as well. Like literally every time I check on him he showcases an update with new enemies and maps. Last time I checked he introduced epic battles with giant octopuses. Octopusi? Well, tentacle things. SteamWorld Dig 2. Game takes you on a mining adventure forged in Metroidvania flames. When an old trading town is struck by mysterious earthquakes, it's up to you, a lone steambot, along with your unlikely companion, to uncover what trembling terrors lies beneath. And you know what you will uncover deep below?
Your fat mama snoring.
Oh come on, no, it's a secret and you will have to discover it by yourself. So you will dig your way underground and explore vivid worlds riddled with treasure, secrets and deadly traps. Fight dangerous enemies at every turn of the underworld, including shadowy creatures and the haunted remains of an ancient electrical threat. Well, this game is obviously story-rich, and that is awesome. Control Ultimate Edition. A corruptive presence has invaded the Federal Bureau of Control, and only you have the power to stop it. The world around you is now your weapon in an epic fight to annihilate an ominous enemy across the deep and unpredictable environments. Containment has failed, humanity is at stake, so it's time to kick some paranormal ass. SCP vibes are really strong here. To be fair, this game feels like you are in a dream all the time. Well, nightmare to be exact, because everything is changing all the time and not for good. The game is not scary, but it's ominous, that's for sure. People on Steam are saying that the story is very good, the game itself is out of the ordinary and it has some really cool puzzles to solve. So a bit of everything for everyone. Beyond Two Souls. Here you will take on the role of Jodie, a woman born with a connection to a mysterious entity with incredible powers. And I'm talking about real powers, not like those possessed by your uncle. You know, his incredible power to drink a few liters of vodka and still drive home. No, the thing is real here, and your actions will determine Jodie's fate as she faces extraordinary challenges and danger on a journey to discover the truth of who she really is. If you like games similar to Life is Strange or Detroit Become Human, this is another great title for you, but with a little bit more direction. And if you are in doubt, you can download a free demo version on Steam and see what this game is really all about. Alaloth, Champions of the Four Kingdoms. As people are saying, it's like Diablo, Dark Souls and Baldur's Gate in one. Set in an interesting fantasy world, Alaloth is based on fast-paced action and a deep narrative. As developers say, it brings action RPG dynamics to a new level, with skill-based gameplay inspired by great classics and modern games. So in other words, it is inspired by everything, and probably that's why it has only a mostly positive review score on Steam, with less than 80% of positive reviews. But not all bad reviews are legit. For example, one guy is complaining that he can't find where to turn in quest items, and then he is just steamrolled over by developers who said that they wrote 300,000 words for a reason. So the guy literally skipped all the hints and then wrote a bad review. What a giant pussy. Dude, I don't know, go play Scorn and run around with that bleeding hand instead if you want to understand the true meaning of confusion. And now, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!